Hello, it's Terry Joyce, and this is Hollywood Hemptress Hour. I'm live streaming live, getting ready to do week 4 on the Time for Hemp Network. And my guest is Roland A. Duby. Also with him is co-host North Blatt Forsgren and also Kevin Korn. They're back with me again this week and will be for, I don't know, maybe permanently. I think it might be, permanent thing, the three of us. And then we do trips after hours afterwards. Um, Today's been kind of a stressful day. Time for Hemp needs some money. So if you are an advertiser, if you have a hemp business, if you have a vaporizer machine, if you are a lawyer, now's the time to get on the ground floor of making this wonderful network happen. And I will be having a conversation with Casper Leach tomorrow. I'm going to be smiling and dialing and selling advertising. Not only for my own show, but for the entire network. Because I want to see this happen, and I want to keep having my show on here, but I also want to see the entire network succeed. Casper has a wonderful vision, and we have a wonderful message to get out there. Do I have smudge on my nose? I feel like or is that a spot? I'm getting a call now. Okay, so this is Sasha. Hi, Sasha. So, you know what? Did you? I actually sent everything over to Casper's Facebook.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, cool.
And the number for Gold.
Okay, and then there's also a number for North Blatt too, because he's not going to be on Skype, I think, for a while. But Kevin's on Skype.
Yeah, I just talked to Kevin.
Okay, cool. We're doing Roland. How are you tonight?
Pretty good. Yeah, I'm tired.
I know. I talked to him a little bit earlier tonight. He needs some rest. Wow. That was harsh. It was harsh. Hooah. Hey, Kevin.
We got a few minutes still, right?
Yes.
The restroom and get my dogs put away.
Okay.
I gotta smoke some weed.
Absolutely. I just took a good hit right now. Thank God I needed it.
That's what made me want to get started. Hello.
Hey, North Blatt.
Hey.
Welcome to the show.
Oh, hi. Sorry. I should have been in the office.
Oh, it's not a problem, and we're not on air yet. I mean, I just kind of just said that.
Okay.
Yeah. We're okay. Should be Roland A. Duby. I'm gonna have him back because he has so much to share, and I got a couple of really good comedy clips on him.
Who, Kevin?
Roland.
Oh.
Hey, Roland.
Is that Roland?
It is?
Oh, hello.
Hey.
So I actually took a 7-minute clip that I found on YouTube on you, and I cut it in half. It's the one we were opening up for Doug Stanhope.
Okay.
Yeah. Kevin has some good comedy clips too, though. I got to get those. Oh yeah, I did talk to Kevin about like possibly, like he says he owns a lot of footage from Hardcore Entertainment that maybe we can replay some of the comics talking about marijuana on it. I have to remind him about that. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
How's everybody's day been?
Oh, long. It's been good. What's that, Grandpa?
What?
I watched Bad Grandpa today. That was pretty good.
Dad, Grandpa? What is that?
Bad Grandpa. Jackass presents Bad Grandpa.
Oh, Bad Grandpa.
Yeah.
Who stars in it?
Johnny Knoxville.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Johnny Knoxville and the kids from Fun Size. It's pretty funny. I wasn't expecting it to be very good, but it was alright.
Tell me that Johnny Knoxville's not the grandpa, right?
Oh, he is. Yeah, he's the grandpa. You bet. It's a play on the Jackass grandpa skits, you know.
Okay, so they make him look older?
Yeah, they dress him up like the old man.
Okay, all right.
Dress him like the old man. You know, it's got kind of a storyline to it that's kind of like Borat, where people don't really know what's going on.
Yeah.
Other than the actors and the people that are involved. Yeah, it was pretty good. I was impressed. I found a new beer today. Holy shit.
A new what? Beard?
A new beer.
Oh, beer.
Yeah, called Sweet Heat. Burnside Brewing. Fucking awesome.
Oh, wow.
Ale brewed with apricots and Jamaican Scotch bonnet peppers.
Oh, that sounds good.
What's that? You say brewed with paper cuts? No, not paper cuts. Let's see, it's a wheat beer with 200 pounds of apricots. And then dry hop with Jamaican Scotch bonnet peppers. It's fucking awesome. It's not like spicy, like burn the back of burn your mouth spicy, but you can definitely tell that there's pepper in it. But if you want a manly beer, you get one made out of paper cuts. Have you gotten a hold of Kevin yet?
Yeah, he's here. He just had to put the dogs away and take a bong hit.
Alright, we're starting
Oh.
right now.
Okay.
Can you guys hear me? I mean, am I coming through all right?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah, you're fine.
I got a shitty. If you need to, you can call me on Tap's phone, and if that's any better reception, but I think it's fine.
Yeah, you sound just fine. Yeah.
How do I look?
Live on play.
Great. You're looking great.
Thanks.
Yep. You look great. You sound great.
I still got the whatchamacallit picture up, don't I? Oh, on my Skype? Yeah.
Yeah.
Cell phone.
I guess it doesn't have the picture, but I'm on my cell phone.
It doesn't show up on the cell phone.
What you would call it with a great candy bar.
I was just playing it. Can you hear it?
No.
Yeah. Shit, it's happening again. God damn.
Are we on?
Did you just hear it? Just play it again. Yeah.
I can't hear it.
It's happening again. What the hell?
If you just tell me I'm on, I'll go. Or
Yeah, I'll cue you in like right now. Hold on.
I felt better. Okay, welcome to Hollywood Hemptress Hour. I'm your host, Terry Joyce, and we are on the Time for Hemp Network on iHeartRadio. We have a little bit of a bleep right there, so I apologize. You know, this whole Skype thing isn't perfect, but it doesn't matter, because it doesn't matter. It's Time for Hemp, and we're going to have a great show. In studio, I have Kevin Korn with me from Hardcorn Entertainment. Welcome back to the show, Kevin.
Yes, great
Great to be here. Great to be here.
Thank you. Kevin is co-hosting all week, and I don't know, indefinitely. And also I have North Blatt Forsgren from Trips, and also producer of Trips. Welcome to the show, North Blatt.
Oh, thank you for having me again. I love it.
You know, it's funny how like when you started, like I'm just thinking about how like you just bring people up and you give them their credits, you know, like and this and that, but we're like so much more than that. Like you're a dad and a husband, and you know, and Kevin is a great person. I mean, like Kevin, you know, well, he's not a dad yet, thank God, but you know, Kevin takes really good care of his dogs, you know.
We're kids, Terry.
We're kids, huh?
4.
4 kids. Oh, that's right. You are a dad. I forgot. I'm sorry.
I have 4. I have 3 girls and 1 little boy.
Wow. Yes. So everybody's pretty much reproduced but me. Boy, is my mom disappointed. It's like one time my mom called me up. She goes, Terry, you know, I want to live to see my grandchildren, and you know, you could freeze your eggs. I'm like, okay, Mom. That was a few years back, anyway.
Tell her we can also freeze Mom.
What?
Did you tell her you can also freeze Mom?
Right. I can freeze Mom. Nah.
Yeah. She's like, you can freeze your eggs, so we can freeze you. Right next to Disney.
So, are you guys pretty much are you good and stoned yet?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm fucking toasted.
Yes.
That's great. You know, I mean, it's good to be toasted. Today was 11/11. It was kind of an intense day today. A lot of intense conversations on Facebook. Yeah. I mean, like, I actually have had some pretty intense conversations with people that, you know, called me up and said, hey, this is going on. Can I talk to you about that? And they just, like, told me, like, their, you know, like, what was going on. It's been pretty exciting. I even had my own drama today. I'm gonna share it on the radio because it pertains to hemp. It pertains to marijuana. And again, I don't want to just, you know, demonize this person. Actually, I have confronted this person, and they do feel really bad, and they want to talk to me tomorrow to make everything all right. They felt bad that it came off the way it did, but you know, and I don't know what, you know, sometimes like I mean, maybe this is it. You know, some of us are entertainers, and we get shows. In certain forums and certain networks, and you know, sometimes because there's a certain belief system on that network, we find ourselves conforming to that network out of fear that we won't stay on the network. And you know, so you know, maybe their subject matter becomes more and more conservative, in that's not necessarily congruent to the person's actual beliefs. And so, you know, when I had gotten in touch with them again, I said, "Look, what am I doing now? Well, I'm on Time for Hemp, but I'm doing, you know, Hollywood Hemptress Hour 5 nights a week." And this person had been a guest on Hollywood Hemptress Hour, and I was going to do like a 10-minute interview on their show, which is basically about comedians and maybe what they're doing in their life or whatever. We all get to plug our stuff as well. And so, like, right off the bat, like, I wasn't really even acknowledged as being a comedian, really. It went right into, you know, you have a show on. I go, yeah, on a brand new network called, you know, Time for Hemp Network. And automatically I get this question of, well, you know, are you one of, I don't want to be rude, but are you one of those people that believe that hemp can save the planet? And, you know, when automatically you get lumped in being like those people, like, who are those people? Who are those? Are you one of those? I bet you're one of those. Don't tell me you're one of those people. Like, what? Are you a witch? Are you a good witch or a bad witch? Are you a communist? Are you a hippie? Like, you know, are you a liberal? I mean, like, you know, are you lesbian? You know, what is those? What is that? What is, right. It automatically puts you a little bit on the defensive. And so, but I didn't lose my composure. I just said, yeah, I am one of those people, and I believe that hemp can save the planet, and here's why. And of course, I went through the obvious list that everyone who's tuned into this right now basically knows, and that's why we're supporting it. You know, paper, fiber, fuel, energy, you know, oil, and blank, and then I pulled in. I said, and by the way, if you really want to get down to it, even more so, I said the people that made marijuana illegal, Rockefellers, J.P. Morgans, the DuPonts, I go, are the same people that have money in our oil that's destroying the planet, and pharmaceuticals that's destroying people, and they, you know, and then the same people that own the Federal Reserve and the banks. Okay, and I'm thinking, you know, I don't feel like mincing any meat anymore. Like, you know, if you're gonna ask me that question, I'm gonna tell you what my truth is, or I think what is the truth. Otherwise, I've wasted my 10 minutes being here, you know. But it irritated me. It was like, it's like I felt like, and then he made reference to hippies, like, you know, the hippie people. Are you guys just like hippie people that want to, like, you know, help the earth out? I'm like, what, you know, what is this? I go, that is a word that mainstream media has, like, conditioned people to label as something negative so that they can further their agenda. So basically, you just repeated to me what you've been brainwashed in doing.
Exactly.
Right? What did you just say, Kevin?
I said hippie smell.
Hippie smell, you know, they smoke pot. I mean, you know, like, obviously hippie people smoke pot, and they fucked each other in the dirt during concerts and tripped out on acid and talked about this stupid thing called love, you know. And it's like, you know, like what the hippie generation did basically is they stopped the Vietnam War from continuing. And anytime you step up against war and you want peace, well, then you're going to either be maybe assassinated or you're going to be called a dirty hippie. Now, frankly, I'd rather be called a dirty hippie than be assassinated. But, you know, depending on how powerful you got to it. And it just infuriates me. I'm going to say it. I feel it. I don't care. There'll be a joke in here someday. But it infuriates me that because I stand up for the world to be healthier, that I'm a person who seriously wants to see not one more thing broken or ruined or fracked, or I don't want my water to light on fire. You know what? I don't want to leave this existence feeling that I made a mess out of my home. And, you know, and if you want to go ahead and call me a hippie for that, well, then that's just your own fucking problem. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sick of it. It's like, you know, you do not get, you know, it's not okay for you to insult me in front of an audience that I'm being introduced to based on the fact that I do a show about marijuana on the Time for Hemp Network. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm proud of that. And I wouldn't want to be any other place. So if anybody wants to do any advertising on the network, you need to call up right now and put some money in their pockets.
Right?
Right? Otherwise, we're going to have to sell weed to fund this motherfucker. No, I'm kidding. You know, I'm making light of that.
The way I look at it is really, you know, I don't know. I kind of look at it as education, right?
Right.
You're educating people, correct? I mean, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, you're here for the people that smoke pot and that are for the hemp, you know, the whole hemp revolution.
Right.
That's happening. But you're also educating the ignorant, right? The people that don't know.
Yeah.
You know, the stragglers that do, you know, that do have the open mind and see it for the first time with an open mind. And, you know, and you're going to run into those kind of people. I mean, there's a large majority of people out there that are just brainwashed. And in fact, we've all been those type of people at some point. You know, I mean, or at least, I mean, I know several that opened their mind and been able to understand this whole movement. I mean, it's been years of conditioning on everybody. That this is a horrible Class A drug that ranks up with methamphetamine and cocaine. You know, I mean, it's been like that since the 50s, and it's fucking bullshit.
You know what makes me laugh is the whole Miley Cyrus thing out there on Facebook, where because Miley Cyrus, like, you know, took off her onesie and lit up a joint in, you know, at the VMA Awards in Amsterdam or whatever. I was like, who gives a fuck, right? It's like, who cares? I mean, like, I go, you're pulling the marijuana card to make her even more controversial. Like, please, like, do you think we're stupid anymore? I'm like, who cares? So I wish I was there sharing that joint with her. You know, it's
only Miley Cyrus that they picked out of that because I watched those.
Uh-huh.
And everybody, Snoop Dogg smoking a joint. You had Will Ferrell as Anchorman, as Ron Burgundy in a coffee house eating medical brownies, eating weed brownies. I mean, they were absolutely endorsing the fact that they were in Amsterdam the whole time. Why are we only singling out Miley Cyrus?
Well, there's the answer. We already. I mean, I mean, like, just think about it. I think we can all come up to the same summation. We're being manipulated by it. You know, to me, I go, your media is so stupid right now that you think that old trick still works during this time and age when 58% of the people in the United States want to see it legal. You know, it's. You know, that's where, you know, it's almost like, you know, it needs to be made fun of. You know, it's like, you know, I mean, after she's twerked and did everything else and like worn devil horns and, you know, stuck her tongue out and like whatever happened, you know what I mean? It's like, I mean, like sex tape. I mean, like what, like marijuana? Really? That's like.
Sex tape?
What?
Does she have a sex tape?
She doesn't have a sex tape, does she?
Oh, she doesn't? God, I feel like she does. You know what I mean? I thought did it like? But did you see that? What? I thought she had a sex tape.
No, I don't think so.
But something happened where.
Well, yeah, she's got all these racy videos.
Okay.
Music videos, but I mean, there's Madonna. I mean, you know, if you remember Madonna back in the day, I mean, Cher at 60 showed us all her ass.
So,
you know?
so
really
what?
Not like, you know, everything she's done. I don't think everything she's done as far as music videos and stuff was really that out of line. I mean, the VMA performance, I take that as shock value. It was exactly, you know, she got the reaction that they set out for.
Right.
It's all shock value. You know, it's no different than when Howard Stern first came on the radio. You know, it's the same thing.
So, but the question is like, why do we constantly get, like, why is it that these young girls that were like part of Disney end up like being, it's almost like they, like it's dot to dot to dot to dot how they're going to market her and how they're going to do her and blah, 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 blah. Like, what is all of that about? And why has our country and us, and, you know, right now, I don't really, why am I talking about Miley Cyrus?
Well, you know, I think it's really funny, you know, you bring up, like, the Disney people, right?
Uh-huh.
And I think a lot of it is a lot of them are child actors, you know, who were under control by a lot of people. And we watch them. You got to remember, we watch, just like Justin Bieber, we're watching these people grow up. They're only human. People think because they're these celebrities, they're like these gods. They're not. They're just as human as you and I. And they're going to go through and make the same mistakes that we do. The only difference is they have to do it with cameras and people following them 24/7. So we watch it and we hang on every move like, can you believe they just did this? And I'm thinking, yeah, when I was 19, I did some stupid shit too. You know, like, it's not really that hard, or I don't think it's that, like, out there. I just think a lot of times, like, these Disney kids too, they're under control a lot of their life. When they finally get to an age where they have some say as to what they want to do, they rebel. They go crazy.
They go wild.
They shave their head. And on that, we'll be right back at the next. We'll be right back with more Hollywood Hempress Hour. Okay. All right.
All right. I'm gonna play the audio real quick. Let me know if you can hear it.
Okay. No.
No.
I found.
Yeah.
All right. This mixer. Oh. All right. Well, it's going to be going for about 4 minutes. I'll let you know when I'm coming back.
Yeah, can you, I mean, you know what, Sasha, I think would be a smoother transition is just to hear you go, "You're back," or "We're back."
Okay.
Just say the words, and then I'll follow after you.
All right. Great.
Okay.
That was a good one.
Was it?
I think so.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was a conversation, and we ended in really a good spot. I think.
Okay, cool. Yeah, it felt good.
It's good.
It feels organic, you know?
Natural.
Yeah.
Exactly. Whoa, we're getting some echoes. Is that me?
I don't know.
I think I'm going to have you Skype me here next break.
All right. Let me know.
Okay.
Yeah, that way I can just it'll be a lot easier for me anyway on the computer.
Okay. The baby's
Yeah,
gonna be
I'm
okay?
early.
I mean, the baby's gonna be okay?
Yeah, Chad got home early, so
Okay.
all good.
All right. Are you with?
Just, they've been known to keep her late.
So, Roland, are you there?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I'll bring you back in and because I know you've heard all the Miley Cyrus stuff, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll just see if you have any thoughts too as well on that, and then we can just maybe wrap the whole subject matter up after that, or after, I mean, I don't know, whenever it organically wraps up at.
I'm gonna dip out and then come back in because I'm getting mad feedback. I don't know if anybody else is getting that. Is anybody else getting that and stuff coming across the speakers?
I'm getting it's I can hear it. Yes.
Okay, so it's not just me then.
No.
Okay, so it's coming from somebody else.
Okay, it might be me. I don't know. Hold on. Let me grab a bowl. I don't hear. I'll probably done it in the middle of the thing.
Do you hear it on your end,
It stopped
Sasha?
now.
Oh, it did?
Yeah.
All right. Hold on. Let me know if it comes back on.
Okay.
You hear it now?
Yeah.
I don't. I turned the down now.
Then apparently.
You hear me? Reminds me of the Blair Witch Project. Run for your life! It's so cold out here. Exactly.
What?
What just happened? We lost her. We lost her. Leave those guys.
And all I can think that whole time is wipe your fucking nose, girl.
I know.
For $10,000 and 3 people, that was pretty classy for a class film project.
Yeah, and you know what? They did a great marketing campaign too. The way they released it viral, the way they released it over the internet.
Right.
Everybody thought it was real when the first time they saw it in the theater. You know what I mean?
That was the point.
Like, it was parody of a complete failure. I did the Where Bitch Project.
The Where Bitch Project.
Yeah, she turned into a bitch on the full moon.
So that guy that directed and produced See No Evil, Hear No Evil, that horror movie or whatever?
Yeah.
I guess he's here in Portland, and he's a friend on my Facebook list, and he's been sending me messages asking if I want to do his next movie, have a part in it or be an extra, and if I know anybody else to get him signed up because he needs people.
Oh.
Really?
I don't think it really pays a whole lot, maybe on the front end, but you might be able to get some.
I'd do it.
We can get rid of Northblatt's phone, it looks like.
Yeah, I think he's are we connected? Hey, Northblatt.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, he's here.
Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Sounds
good.
better.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll do
My
it.
picture change on my profile.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, Yoda.
I just changed it to Yoda.
I like it.
Y-O-D-A, Yoda.
Y-O-D-A, Yoda, man. The Jedi Master.
Yoda.
Okay, and we're back with the Hollywood Hemptress Hour on the Time for Hemp Network on iHeartRadio. We're back. We're back after the commercial, and with me is Kevin Korn from Hardcore Entertainment, as well as North Blatt Forsgren from Trips. We're all from Trips. You know, actually, Trips is a show, a web series with Kevin and North Blatt and I. And we, part of it's us traveling and taking trips, and part of it's like tripping, like we're really tripping on whatever marijuana, maybe it's going to be ayahuasca, and watching us talk or do whatever. Or, you know, you just get to hear us kind of be together and, you know, talk on, you know, after hours, after the show about everything. And it's unabashed, it's free speech, and, you know, it's a lot of fun. So tune in on it. Also, I have back to the show. He was a guest about, I'd say, the first week of Hollywood Hemptress Hour. We're on week 4 right now, and you know, he's such a huge presence in the cannabis and the hemp movement that you can't even really get all of his story in on one show. And also, you know, we just love to have him on and get his opinion on stuff. He's kind of a pretty extraordinary person. I don't know if a whole lot of people know this, but he also does stand-up comedy. So during the 2 hours, we will be playing a couple of clips of his stand-up, so you can that you can get listen to him. I want to welcome back to the show Roland A. Duby.
Hey, thank you. I'm glad to be back.
Oh, it's really good to have you back, and I know that you were hanging out on Skype listening to what we were talking before about the Miley Cyrus joint picture of her at the VMAs smoking a joint, and then Kevin happened to have even more knowledge on it, that there were tons of entertainers, Snoop Dogg, all kinds of people, smoking marijuana blatantly as they went on stage because they were in Amsterdam. So she was doing nothing different than anybody else in the crowd had been doing. And we talked about how, the media is leaking this kind of scandalous stuff around her. And, we're all kind of giving our thoughts about what that might be. What do you think about that, Roland? Do you think it's a manipulation by the media? Do you think that,
Right.
She's been
I
groomed?
think it is. Pick and choose what they want to talk about on the media. And I personally am related by Miley Cyrus, but not in the media.
He's waiting for that sex tape.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
well, what do you think? I mean, let's say if there's a pattern here, and again, you watch it. I mean, again, we've seen it with Britney Spears, we've seen it with Madonna, we've seen it, apparently, there's what's her name, Alejandro girl, Lady Gaga, I sound so old right now. I mean,
I remember the dastardly things that happened with Annette Funicello after she got out of Disney.
well,
Sex tape, everything,
okay, so is there a Disney connection to this? I
don't
think
know.
there
Did
is.
you ever see the South Park episode about the Disney girls
No, I
and
haven't.
the Disney kids?
No.
Oh, it was totally, like they're sacrificing them to the devil, and Mickey Mouse was fake. It was pretty awesome.
I'll come out and say this here on the radio. I gotta say, Justin Timberlake was a Disney kid, and that dude is amazing.
He is amazing.
I mean, from writing music to comedy to, just the guy. It's amazing.
Yeah, he's
I think the girls from Disney have more problems than the guys from Disney. Yeah.
from what I can see,
To do with the Disney cows, I don't know.
See, now, if memory serves, old Miley Cyrus's next step would be getting out of limo with no panties on.
That's what I I was thinking too. We're waiting for the crotch shot. I think
the media endorsed crotch shot is the next step in the Disney sacrificial Disney lineup. And then Miley will go fucking crazy, and she'll chase somebody with a baseball bat or an umbrella.
She'll shave her head and tear up.
She could shave her head too.
I think.
However, I think fucking Britney was being smart when she shaved her head.
Right?
Yeah, I think Britney had ulterior motives. I think Britney had been doing
lice.
Huh?
She had lice.
She had lice.
That's right. That's probably it.
So, what
She definitely had ulterior motives. She was done.
you
She
think?
wanted out.
Well, I think her ex was trying to get a court order to have her fucking hair taken for drugs.
Right?
Yeah, because he wanted the kids, and so she went all fucking psycho and went out and shaved her head. You know, which I know a lot of people who would do that. You know, maybe that makes a lot of people crazy. I don't think that right there makes Britney Spears crazy. Watch any of her reality TV show that was short-lived, and I think that is enough. That right there is enough to know that she's crazy.
Well, I mean,
It's all crazy.
it's
all stupid.
it's been questionable.
Yeah, very stupid. I'd have to say, yeah.
Which I think what Roland was getting at, the men come out of that Disney, the boys come out like well educated. The girls come out just, who do we
Look
want?
at fucking Russell.
Right?
Kurt Russell, Disney kid.
Right, he's another one that came out really good.
Clint Howard, Disney kid.
Yep.
You know? I mean, yeah, he's right. The guys, you know, manage to go on to have great careers and.
Well, I feel that the girls are somehow sexually exploited. You know, and
The guys can deal with the Disney couch a little better than the girls can.
maybe so.
I almost think it's the other way around though, Terry. I almost think that they're held back for so long that by the time that, you know, they get out of their Disney contract, right?
Uh-huh.
And they're like 17, 18, they're finally getting away from Disney. The first thing they want to do is go, I want to show my tits to the world.
I don't know about. I mean, see, I have a different feeling about that. I feel that, you know, that there. I think that there's something a lot more contrived and sinister about it. You know, I mean, to me, for me the pattern is a little bit too definitive to that. I say, oh, it's up to the young girl. She's a rebellious teenager that wants to, like, you know. Maybe Drew Barrymore did a little bit of an element of that, but I don't think she was really a Disney kid either. You know, I mean,
She started young too, though.
yeah, I mean, you know, I mean, obviously, you know, there has to be a transition for a child actor who's a woman or a child to an adult. There's got to be a sexual crossover film for them to, like, move into the adult viewpoint. I mean, usually there is, but it's the way that they do it. It's you know, and the way they're marketing it, like right now, in terms of like what the rest of what's happening politically in America and the rest of the world.
But what about Raven-Symoné? She's a Disney girl that's gone on to never do anything crazy and still has shows, TV shows all over on different stations. I mean, still, I'm pretty sure she's still signed to Disney.
I mean, I get your point. I mean, I'm sure that there's like some that it doesn't happen for that way. But I feel like every time I stare at it, I'm gonna admit to it. Every time I stare at it, I say, I'm being socially engineered and manipulated, and I can. It's just like it's like show me something new because nothing ever different happens. You know, and they don't market anything any different way with these most of the time. I mean, you know, I just
look at the way Raven-Symoné's name is spelled. It's Sim1. She's not actually a person. She's a robot.
There it is, right there.
So Roland, I wanted to, welcome back to the show. The last time you were here, if somebody wants to, download the earlier archive of this one, but I kind of will maybe give a quick brief interlude here for if someone's just listening to this particular episode first. But Roland A. Duby is a pretty major activist with hemp and also with marijuana in curing cancer, and has been very outspoken. And I did a show in Richland, Washington, to celebrate 420 for the legalization of cannabis for its first year of happening. And Roland contacted me and sent me a tape of his comedy and said, "Hey, I want to be part of this tour." And I was blown away that he actually wanted to come all the way out and join us over here when he could have stopped off in Colorado. And he drove on your own dime, on his own dime. He said, "I don't even care if I make any money. I just want to come out." And that was like really, I was like, wow. So and he did. And on his way back, and if you want to finish the rest of the story, but he got arrested in Arizona, and summation, Roland.
Yeah, well, my favorite part of the trip was picking up hell, I can't remember his name now. The guy in LA.
Oh, Jay London. Jay London, from
that was a good song,
yeah, Jay London is from he was on, I think, the second season of Last Comic Standing. We knew each other from there, and Jay London and I has been on lots of like marijuana themed shows in Los Angeles, and lots of benefits and things like that. So we invited him if he wanted to come out and do this tour, and he was booked to do some comedy the week before, and you went with him and did some sets, but on the way back, Roland got arrested in Arizona, and you spent a long time in there, and then he was mistreated, and he ended up getting leukemia, and has just come out of cancer treatment again, and he's doing well now, and he's here on the show to talk about a little bit about that, but also to talk. I wanted, there's so much that Roland has done that I just want to find out more history on him. For example, one of the things I want to ask you, Roland, is you worked with Jack Hare, like what?
I did. I was Jack's driver for almost 5 years, and I edited the last edition of The Emperor Wears No Clothes before Jack died.
Oh wow, nice, cool.
So what was that? What was?
I've read your work.
Yeah.
Did right.
I've read your work.
I have too. But what I like to know, Roland, is like what happened? What was it like being next to him, like day in and day out? I mean, what did your day usually entail for him?
Oh well, all we ever really did was drive up and down the coast and go to dispensaries and sell his book.
Oh.
And when we weren't at dispensaries selling his book, and he would go to dispensaries and set up a little table and sign autographs, and that's all that we did every day, was go to different, because there's so many dispensaries in California and Oregon and Washington, and that's what we would do. We would drive up and down the coast, going to the different dispensaries and signing books, and that was pretty much it. And festivals, there were festivals all summer long, all the time, hemp festivals all over California. I mean, you got a hemp festival every weekend in California.
And so that just seems like what a wonderful experience to go through and then to witness.
It was a blast. Yeah, it was a blast, and I got to do a lot of my stand up at the different festivals when I was with Jack, because he could get me on stage even if the stage was packed. He would find me some time on stage, and it was a blast. I learned everything that you could ever want to know about hemp. Now, anything anyone says to me, I automatically can calculate in my head how you can fix that with hemp. So, really, you can save the world with hemp. You can do it. You can make plastic and make cars and make paper and make gasoline and diesel fuel and food from the seeds, and you can make ice cream from the seeds. You can make everything.
Plastic.
Yeah, plastic, paper. The only thing you can't make from hemp is steel.
It's okay.
But you can steal hemp.
Yeah, that's...
I don't suggest it. I mean, I don't recommend stealing hemp. Am I too far out for you? I don't...
No. You're just fine.
Steal hemp from Europe. Those bastards are hanging on cost for hemp.
Well, I mean, isn't...
Well, you know the word Europe. When you take the letters EU and you put them in front of a word, it means good. Like euphoria means a good feeling. Euphoria is feeling.
Good rope.
So I would assume that Europe would be good rope.
Well, it is. I mean, even
Good rope is made out of hemp.
Yeah, still to this day, don't our armed forces use hemp rope? Doesn't the Navy still use rope made of hemp, even though we're not supposed to have it?
Well, that was why
probably.
DuPont was so hell-bent on getting hemp made illegal, is because they had nylon. You know, being
It was nylon, plastic, all sorts of things. Dude.
All right.
It was a way of snagging the fucking hemp market, you know, going straight to the nylon company. It was dastardly is what it was. I mean, it was business, but it was...
Well, when the treasurer...
I'm going to have to break you guys up right there. We need to take a commercial break. We'll be right back.
So we don't get to hear commercials, huh?
Yeah, you still don't hear it, damn it. Okay.
Yeah, we can't hear tonight for some reason, but
Not working.
yeah, maybe it'll kick in here in a moment. We can it'll be fine. Just give me a heads up when we come back, and then I'd like to introduce Roland's comedy clip during this time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll just set it up.
Echo.
Yeah, I have a hecko.
That sounded like I have a hecko.
Isn't that made by Ford? The Ford Echo?
Oh, it's all done now. Northblood, that's exactly what happens, though, when you take and you appoint somebody, like, they appointed the U.S. Treasury, the head, like, person of DuPont, of the United States Treasury, of course. Just like in the Bush administration, the second Bush. He got Dickhead, who was the head person for Halliburton. Of course Halliburton came out fucking zillionaires.
Yeah.
You know? They rob us. Every time we get money, what will happen is we'll get somebody in there who'll get us just about out of debt, get us all going real good. Then they'll do that and rob us blind. And it's like a never-ending story.
I watched this show recently, and it tripped me out. It was about this guy he was an expert on all the different assassinations of people, like JFK.
Yeah, I watched that.
Did you? And you know what he said? He talked about he said Bush was ahead of the department of that particular project, which made the financing, and he goes, oh, and then he turned up here again too, and he was in like a couple places. So these guys have been around doing things for quite a while, and then they become president.
Well, the bloodline's amazing.
Arthur
Bush's bloodline goes all the way back to the founding fathers.
Roland, did you say something about? I missed what you said.
I believe George H.W. Bush had something to do with Kennedy's death.
Well, they said that it was after his death that the rest of the other presidents have taken over and perpetuated the agenda. I guess because what happened was Kennedy was supposed to press the button to kill, I think, Cuba. And I guess like all these people were going to die. To nuke them. He was supposed to nuke them. And he wouldn't do it. He wouldn't put his hand on the button. He says, I can't have this.
The Philippines.
Yeah. Oh, was it the Philippines? He goes, I can't.
No, it was Cuba with JFK.
Yeah.
But with Obama, he pressed the button and wiped out the Philippines. Here's my issue with it. I honestly am starting to think HAARP does have something to do with weather, right?
Uh-huh.
Think about this. 6 months ago, they got hit with one of the most biggest earthquakes we've ever recorded, right?
Right.
6 months later, they just got hit with the biggest storm ever recorded in our history.
Uh-huh.
Right? And now they're running for their lives because another one is on its way.
So you think these are planned?
Absolutely. I think we're trying to wipe it out, just like we.
I was wondering about myself. I'm not gonna lie. I looked and I go, is this planned?
Unless you're part of the West like Baptist Borough Church or whatever, and you think that God just hates them and he's just trying to wipe them out because they're horrible fucking people.
Well, Philippines, it looks like the word penis is at the end of it, so they probably God hates them.
God hates them. Yes, exactly. No.
Are we back, Sasha?
We're coming back in a bit. I'll let you know.
Okay.
Are we getting ready to go back?
Yeah.
And we're live.
And we're back with Hollywood Hemptress Hour on the Time for Hemp Network, and we're on iHeartRadio. So thank you for tuning in studio. Well, we're not really in a studio. We're in a virtual studio. We're all in front of wherever in front of our Skypes or our cell phones, but let's just pretend that there's a studio. In studio, I have North Blatt Forsgren from Trips, as well as Kevin Korn from Trips and Hardcore Entertainment. We're all Hardcore Entertainment, and Roland A. Duby, who's just rolled a Duby. No. Who's in his underwear. You know what? I mean, literally, this is what's great about internet radio is that we could literally be naked doing this if we wanted to. Underwear, we could stink, we could, not take showers. I mean...
Even in a studio, I think you could stink, because I'm not sure if people at home can smell us through their radio, but if they can, we need to have them as a guest on our show.
Right.
That's amazing.
Maybe we smell like weed because most of us smoke it during the show.
We are hippies, so we probably smell like patchouli and ass sweat.
And I don't shave my legs or my armpits. I mean that's pretty much the stereotype. I think of people who don't bathe or they don't wear any shoes. Like we're all barefoot and.
Like an hippie.
We're
The great thing about leukemia and the chemotherapy is I don't really have to shave now. Everything is falling out.
Oh wow! When do you think it's going to come back?
I don't know. My hair is really thin on my head, and my beard doesn't seem to be growing very fast at all. And my crotch is smooth as glass.
Wow! Wish I could say that. No, I'm kidding.
I'll be happy to show you, but Miley Cyrus has first dibs.
Yeah. So, Roland, despite all of your activism and we love hearing about your experiences with Jack Carey, and you did mention that with being with Jack Carey, you got to do stand-up, and you went up and you got on the stages and all these different venues, and I want to play one of your clips from you were opening for Doug Stanhope, I believe, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, love you, Roland, but I'm sorry.
I remember the Cincinnati.
Well, all right, so let's go ahead and play the clip. Do you got it, Sasha?
Yep.
Okay.
Say that again?
We're gonna play the clip. Oh, we can't hear it. Damn it.
Well, that's okay. Oh, I just hate Doug Benson. It's okay, Roland. There's nothing against you. Me and Doug have it.
Oh, did I say Doug or did I say Doug Benson? It was Doug Stanhope.
Oh, did you say Stanhope? Oh, thank God. Yeah, Doug Stanhope's cool. I thought
Doug Benson doesn't like me either. Doug Benson blackballed me from a couple shows.
I just hear Doug, and I'm
I
like...
was in the green room in San
Yes.
And,
We hear it. We hear
I
it.
just made a joke about I eat so much hemp that I shit marijuana logs, and he had me bumped from the show.
Oh, man. That does not surprise me.
Yeah,
Don't
he
take
didn't like
don't
me
take
at all.
don't take
And
don't
I
take
thought
his
it was
stuff.
funny.
Yeah, we're trying to get to be able to hear this. I'm trying the button is messed up on the mixer. Okay.
No worries.
No, yeah.
Is it a virtual button?
In a virtual studio.
It's a button on the computer screen. I'm turning it with my mouse.
Okay. We're back with Hollywood Hemptress Hour. That was Roland A. Duby, little comedy clip there for of him. So Roland, how long have you been doing stand
I love
up?
that part just now where I made everybody laugh. That was
Oh,
so
we're
cool.
not back yet. Sorry. 2 minutes still. Okay.
Oh wow.
Yeah, time flies when you're not saying anything.
Right.
No way, time slows down.
Hey, did you know that Dr. Dre's made more money from making headphones than he has from making music?
Yes,
Really?
actually, I did.
You remember the first album, The Chronic?
Fucking
Yep.
A.
Where on The Chronic, he makes a phone call to somebody, and she answers the phone, and he's like, hey, bitch, yada, yada, yada. Well, I took the CD, and I held it up to my telephone while the dial tone was on, and it dialed that number, and the same girl answered.
Like a little bit.
Because the touch tones for the whole phone number are right there on the CD.
Oh, that's funny.
Alex, do you know how to check your PMs? The private messaging? Or like when I just message you? Do you know how to read those?
No.
Wow.
Hold on, I'm getting there.
I can tell you, but it seems like a lot of work.
Hey, it's snowing outside.
Wow, that'd be nice.
Yeah, I've got snow outside, and I'm looking through the camera right now, watching it fall.
Wow.
We don't have snow yet. Where are you at?
Kentucky.
Kentucky. Yes.
And I'm not wearing shoes.
Hippie.
You guys got skylines in Kentucky, right?
Yeah, the chili company, Skyline Chili.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah,
You call it chili, I call it spaghetti sauce.
right on. Right on.
Right on.
I'm one of those what you call hippie billies. I'm not a hillbilly. I'm a hippie billy.
You guys are making me hungry.
I'm just getting a fucking kick out of the Yoda picture. That's fucking great.
Yeah, the Yoda picture's great.
I'm so fucking stoned right now. Jesus Christ.
I'm working on it.
I want to see Stone.
All right, we're back.
All right, we're back with the Time for Hemp Network Hollywood Hemptress Hour on iHeartRadio. I'm Terry Joyce. And with me is Kevin Korn from Hardcore Entertainment and North Blatt Forsgren, also from Hardcore Entertainment, and they're both from Trips. And then we have Roland A. Duby with us, and we just saw his comedy clip. So thanks for staying here, Roland. So how long have you been doing stand-up now? I mean, how many years has it been since you started?
God, since 1991
Okay.
or 3, somewhere around there.
So did you do stand-up before you worked with Jack?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So, so that for some reason I was kind of fantasizing that you actually started out doing stand-up on the hemp trail, and I'm like, oh, that would be really different. But you had some.
No, I really dig the fact that you fantasize about me.
Okay, so one thing I wanted to ask, you about, like you've worked with hemp oil, and you've also worked extensively with treating people for cancer with it. And when did that start? I mean, when did you start to do that, or what caused you to become interested in it?
Well, I had lumps all over my body when I was working with Jack, and I pretty much thought I was a goner because I lost my father and my mother and my brother and my sister all to cancer. So I figured I was a dead man. And just so happened that while I was living with Jack, me and him and his wife were all growing pot together, and it was my job to make the hash. And I was making bubble hash, and I would eat like a spoonful every 2 or 3 hours while I was making bubble hash. And after a couple of months, I noticed that the lumps in my hands were gone, and the swelling in my butt was gone, told Jack and his wife that, look, all this stuff is happening with these lumps and it's all going away. And so Jack's wife looked on the internet for marijuana curing cancer, and she found Rick Simpson. And this was in 2007. So we started talking to Rick Simpson, and we would put him on. We had a radio show on the internet, a TV show called Jack Hair TV. So we would interview Rick on Jack Hair TV. And one day Rick said he gets all these calls from America, and he has no way to get oil to these people in America. And I said, well, shit, I'll do it. I'll make oil for these people. So Rick started giving me referrals, and I started making oil for people. And it just exploded from there because, one person would be cured, and they would tell two friends, and they would get cured, and they would tell two friends, and it just exploded. And I still get phone calls from people who were referrals from Rick from 2008. For cancer. So I think I've cured well over 350 people of terminal cancer using hash oil.
That's unbelievable. I mean, just to even hear that, it gives me, like, it almost gives me shivers to think. Yeah. And, so, I mean, I didn't realize that you were so in the depths of kind of almost like the rebirthing or the discovery of that.
Oh, yeah, I was the first person in the United States making, if you look on the internet, look up Ronnie Smith hemp oil 2009, you'll find all kinds of, message boards. Marijuana.com. I was on marijuana.com on the forums telling people, look, I'm curing cancer with marijuana oil. And these are people who are supposed to be potheads on marijuana.com, and they're calling me all kinds of names and telling me I'm full of shit and basically ostracized me for years. And now it's common knowledge. Everybody knows marijuana cures cancer. Everybody in the pot movement, anyway.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, is there a difference? I've been noticing on Facebook a lot of talk about this. Is there a difference between hemp oil and Jack Simpson oil?
Okay, we're gonna take a break right now and come back with that question. We'll be right back with North Black's question. Stay tuned.
Is that a Swedish name, North Black?
Forsgren is. Yeah, North Black could be Swedish, sure.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Right on. My tires, they are neither inflated nor flat. So to answer that question before we go back is hemp and marijuana are the same thing. Hemp oil, marijuana oil, hash oil, it's all the same thing. But when you talk about hemp seed oil, there's a difference.
Okay, so hemp oil is the same thing as Jack Simpson oil is hash oil or because I've seen different grades of it. I mean, I've seen stuff that looks like black is motor oil, and I've seen
that cures cancer. That black stuff is the stuff that cures cancer. The golden stuff that's mostly just pure THC.
Yeah.
This doesn't really work as well as the black stuff. The black stuff has everything in the plant. There's over 420 chemicals and CBDs in the marijuana. And when you get that black oil, you're getting the majority of those CBDs and the THC and everything in the plant that's good for you.
Oh shit! You guys say this stuff on air.
Yeah, let's say this on air.
That right there is exactly what I wanted to hear. That's awesome. Right on.
Yeah, that's good. That's good knowledge to go over the air right there.
Yeah.
And what I've noticed is CBDs are good for all of your organs because every organ in our body has receptor sites for CBDs.
Really? I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, every organ in your body requires CBDs in order to function correctly, and I think that's the cause of almost all diseases. Our organs aren't functioning because they don't have the CBDs.
And what does CBD stand for?
Cannabinoid.
Just cannabinoid?
Yeah.
I like it.
But the cannabinoids don't get you high, right?
The cannabinoid, the THC is a cannabinoid, and it gets you high.
Okay.
But most of the CBD.
But it's the cannabinoids that everybody talks about being muscle relaxing and whatnot. And that would make sense because every organ in the body has receptors for it. Yeah, that's wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah. You two people just knew that we had receptor sites in our brain for THC and CBDs, but now we know that every organ in our body. It's called the endocannabinoid system. And without it, our bodies will die off. And our bodies normally will create our own CBDs by using seed oil and fish oil in our diets. And that's how our body normally makes its own CBDs. And we don't have that stuff in our diets anymore, so we're not making our own CBDs. And we have to take it as a supplement. That's why I call it vitamin marijuana. It's a vitamin.
Interesting.
Wow.
Yeah.
You could probably
You
market
need it.
very well. Vitamin marijuana. Interesting.
Vitamin marijuana. I like that.
Yeah.
We need them to be our sponsor.
Yeah, Roland. We need vitamin marijuana to have a commercial on Time for Him.
You know, actually, Roland, if you know people that might be potential sponsors, not sponsors, but advertisers for this network, you know, can you give those, like, would you recommend them to me or, you know, or Casper?
Yeah, you mean like products and stuff?
Yeah. I mean, anything that would be like, you know, hemp related, you know, clothing, vapor, whatever.
What is time related? Because it is time for him.
Time for hemp. Yeah, I mean, time related. You know,
Like
anybody
watches.
who wants to, like, you know, watches. I mean, like, whatever you can think of, pass us our way, because we need to start funding this, like, right ASAP. You know, especially since I think that it like Casper needs it really bad, and I think all of us do. We want to continue here, but
We're live.
but you know, yeah. Oh, were you live? Oh my God. Well, you know what? I guess that was meant to be heard on the air. Well, you know what?
People, I don't just mean black.
Right. I mean, you know, welcome back to Hollywood Hempress Hour on the Time for Hemp Network on iHeartRadio. Forgive us. I'm not able to hear the commercials, and you know, so we're having like, I'm not really sure when I'm back, but I'm back, so that's great. Thank you for staying tuned. We have Roland A. Duby with us, and also my co-hosts Kevin Korn and North Blatt Forsgren. We were in the midst of a conversation about cannabis curing cancer, and how Roland was involved with this from the very onstart of it being known and even practiced here in the United States and Canada. And also, North Blatt Forsgren just asked him a question before the break. What was that question again, North Blatt?
I was asking what is the difference between hemp oil and like Jack Simpson oil or JSO. I see a lot of stuff on Facebook. There's a lot of people that go back and forth, and there's a lot of banter about one being better than the other, and one being cancer, being able to cure cancer and whatnot, and the other just doesn't do much. But I'd like it if you had any input or knowledge.
Well, there's a lot of confusion about the difference between hemp oil and hemp seed oil. Hemp seed oil is very good for your body. It's good for your skin, and it comes from the seed, but it doesn't have cannabinoids or THC in it. Now, the interesting thing is every organ in your body has a receptor site for CBDs, and our bodies normally use things like hemp seed oil or fish oils to make its own CBDs. And without CBDs, our organs don't function correctly. So we need CBDs in our diet, and we need THC in our diet. Our organs have receptor sites for these chemicals, and without them, we just stop functioning correctly. You know, kidney failure, liver disease, all of these things are, in my opinion, are lacks of CBDs. If you don't have these things in your diet, then you're going to get sick and you're going to die eventually. Maybe that's why they call it a diet. But without the CBDs in your diet, I'm repeating myself because I'm stoned.
Well, now my question is, were CBDs naturally in food before?
No, CBDs are naturally created by your body by using seed oils and fish oils. And our body would create its own CBDs to connect to those receptor sites. But we don't get those oils in our diet anymore. And not in the quantities that we need, to create the CBDs. In the old days, people ate a lot of fish. In the Jesus' time, they ate a lot of fish. In the cowboy days, they ate a lot of fish and a lot of seeds. But we don't eat that stuff anymore. Nowadays, we're eating processed corn from China, Our sugar is corn sugar. We don't eat real sugar anymore. Our diets are just totally screwed up, full of GMOs when they should be full of CBDs.
I have a question. Is this the only way that we can get the CBDs in our body is by the oil form, or does smoking it actually bring it into your body too?
Smoking it brings it into your bloodstream a little, but not as much as eating it. When you eat it, it goes through your liver, and from there it gets distributed throughout your body. When you smoke it, it gets into your bloodstream through your lungs. And when you eat it, it goes through every organ in your body. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. It does. So it's important to eat it. It's important to eat the hemp seed, and it's important for us to go and get hemp milk and stuff like that. Isn't it?
And I would suggest everyone takes a drop, like the size of a BB, of hash oil every day.
Really?
If you would eat a small drop of hash oil every day, I've seen people who had glaucoma and couldn't drive, and now they're driving because all they do is they eat a drop of hash oil every day.
Wow.
In so many different things. I've had over 350 people now cured of terminal cancer from eating hash oil that I've made for them. I don't know if I've told you this, but when Rick Simpson, he called him Jack Simpson earlier, it's Jack Hare, had a TV show on the internet called Jack Hare TV. And it was me and Jack Hare and his wife and a fellow named Chuck. And we would interview Rick Simpson every week on Jack Hare TV and talk about curing cancer with hash oil. But one day Rick says to me, he's got all these phone calls from people in America, but he can't send hash oil to people in America. So I said, well, I'll do it. I'll make the oil for people in America. And he started referring cancer patients to me, and like I said, now I've got over 350 people that are cured of terminal cancer, and that's not counting the other diseases. If you go on YouTube and you look up Parkinson's and hemp oil, you'll find a video of me with a guy with Parkinson's, and he eats hash oil, and his tremors go away. And we just found this out by accident because he contacted me thinking he had cancer and his colon, so I gave him a hash oil capsule. This was a gram of hash oil. And I said, you put this in your butt like a suppository, and it'll clear up whatever problem is causing the bleeding. And, well, he forgot that I told him to put it up his ass, and he ate it. And he fell asleep for 2 days. He slept for 2 days solid. But for 5 days after that, he didn't have any Parkinson's symptoms at all. So now he takes about 1/4 of a gram every day. And, or maybe every 2 or 3 days, and he doesn't have any Parkinson's tremors. He can ride his Harley, he can work around the house, he can do anything.
That's just unbelievable.
Most amazing thing I've ever seen.
Well, it is just amazing. I see them giving it to children with epilepsy. I see them giving it to kids with epilepsy.
It can stop an epileptic seizure in its tracks. I've got a video online. If you look up on YouTube again, look up epilepsy and hemp oil, and you'll find a video that I did of a niece of mine who was an epileptic. And I started giving her the oil, and she went from having 10 seizures a month to having none.
Awesome.
And, I had to blur her face out because she was a minor at the time, but she's an adult now. But, I put up all these videos of all these things that just blow my mind. There's a woman, she called me up, and her daughter, she had one daughter die of this rare cancer, and her other daughter had been bedridden for 5 years with the same cancer, and nobody could figure out how to take care of these people. They were just dying. They couldn't get up and do anything. They were just stuck in bed. So I gave her the oil and didn't charge her a thing. I just gave her 4 grams of oil. And she started giving it to her daughter. And in a week, her daughter wanted to get a job. And now she works at a veterinarian clinic. Awesome. She was bedridden 5 years, and her sister died from the same thing. And it just blows my mind, I never imagined that I would be curing cancer. When my mom died, I made a vow that I would try and do whatever I could to stop cancer.
Hearing this, it raises, but it raises this red flag with me and thinking maybe we've all been subjectively wrong, because I've always thought that marijuana was illegal in the United States due to DuPont, timber industry, tobacco industries, those sort of things, But maybe the whole time was they made it illegal because they didn't want us to be healthy. Maybe it was their very first form of population control.
Right.
Well,
yes.
Until 1957, just about every medicine out there said right on the label contains indica extract and cannabis indica extract. And it's like, they had these snake oil salesmen that would go around during the cowboy days in the 1800s, and they would say, hey, I've got this elixir, and it's good for gout, and it's good for arthritis, and it's good for this and that. Well, fuck, if it had cannabis indica in it, it really was good for all that stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, those days, too, though, didn't they also have, like morphine and, straight up heroin and morphine and, those type of oils and elixirs going around, too?
Yeah. They called heroin a laudanum, I think.
A laudanum. Yes, that's right. Heroin is a laudanum. My question is where did we go to turn that all illegal?
Yes.
1937, they made hemp illegal, and thereby making marijuana and all of its extracts illegal.
Right.
The only people who went to Congress and tried to fight for hemp were the birdseed manufacturers and the American Medical Association. That was the only people that
so the American Medical Association actually fought for it.
Yeah, they fought for it in 1937.
Huh. I wonder if they knew now what they did then, if they would have done the same.
I wanted to bring up something that I found out recently, about a couple years ago, that the WikiLeaks came out that the American Medical Association has known that cannabis cures cancer since the 70s, and they're claiming that it's the biggest genocide ever committed on humanity.
Ooh,
I agree 100%. That's, one of the things Rick Simpson says in Run from the Cure is that he heard it on the radio in 1970-something. He heard that THC kills cancer.
Really?
And that's what made him think, well, what if I make an oil out of it and I eat the oil? Will that work? Because his doctor told him smoking marijuana wasn't good for him. He said, what if I make the oil and use that? And his doctor said, well, that would be more of a medicinal way. You should watch Run from the Cure.
I have, but I missed that part of the story in it. I mean, it didn't stick in my head. I need to go back and watch it again. And let's
I did the transcribing for it. I needed somebody to type everything in the video so that they could translate it into other languages. So I watched the video probably 150 times just typing up the transcript for the movie.
So,
But I think all memorized.
That's amazing. Well, please tell our listeners, I mean, maybe there's people now that, have never heard of the Rick Simpson story. So can you explain what that documentary is to our listeners?
Well, Rick Simpson is a Canadian who had skin cancer and discovered quite by accident that hash oil cured his skin cancer. And then he started curing people of different types of cancer in Canada. And he had cured over 2,000 people before he got arrested. And when he got arrested, he made a documentary all about how he's curing cancer with hemp oil. And he called it hemp oil. And I told him right at the beginning when I first met him that hemp oil was a bad name because people are going to confuse it with hemp seed oil. And son of a gun, if that's not what's happening right now. There are people out there selling bottles of hemp seed oil saying this is the cure for cancer. But Rick Simpson basically reintroduced cannabis indica oil was in almost all of our medicine. And Rick Simpson reintroduced that to the world. And there's a wonderful documentary. It's called Run from the Shore. And you can watch it on YouTube. There's full versions of it, and there's clips of it. You can watch it in different, picture 7-10-minute clips. And it's just a wonderful documentary. It really tells a lot about what's going on in Canada as far as the medical system. They really ostracized Rick Simpson. He ended up leaving the country to go to the Cannabis Cup in Amsterdam. And they raided his house while he was in Amsterdam, so he was basically stuck in Europe. He wouldn't go back to Canada because they had an arrest warrant for him.
Oh my God, I didn't know that.
Yeah. And that's what this stuff does. It makes you target to the pharmaceutical, industrial complex, You become a target. I became a target when I ran for sheriff. And my whole campaign was based around, look, this is the cure for cancer. I had billboards up all over my county.
Roland, I don't mean to interrupt for a moment, but I don't want our audience to miss what you're talking about. And I have a note. Can you speak up a little bit so that you're coming up a little bit, I guess, soft on the board? So, okay.
Yeah, you got a note on that. That's cool.
Okay.
So I ran for sheriff, and my whole campaign was based around, curing cancer with hash oil. I had billboards all over the county. What's that?
What? I think you're having a little bit of an echo. It's okay. It's a Skype thing. Either that or the NSA's fucking with us, or somebody's listening and they're going, no, they're talking about cannabis curing cancer. Let's fuck with their Skype. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so it did. It made me a target, and I basically became a felon in my state because of it. I was charged with 3 felonies that never existed, that never happened. I was taken through a jury trial, and the jury found me guilty of these felonies that never existed. They had no evidence. They had nothing. They found me guilty based on the word of a cop. Just the word of a cop over everything else, and they found me guilty.
Is that in Arizona?
So from the ganja places, I was on the run when I came out there. I was basically.
Kevin asked you, was this last trial? Was that in Arizona? This is a different trial, right? This was in.
Oh yeah, this was in 2009 in 10 in Kentucky.
Oh, in Kentucky.
In Arizona, the case is still open. They're holding it until I'm well enough to prosecute.
Oh wow. Yeah, they got me in Arizona too. And they got me. I did a lot of time in Arizona, not even on drug charges. My actual conviction and charge was disorderly conduct under the domestic violence law for raising my voice in a threatening manner. Now, I was married at the time. I owned my own home. We owned our own house. And yeah, we got into an argument. It wasn't a big deal. She called her sister in another state, right? To talk about, hey, we had a fight, yada, 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 after we had already made up, and I went to Blockbuster to rent movies, right? Come back home, and the cops are at my house. Her sister in another state called the police. And in Arizona, they have this law where if they come to any sort of domestic dispute, they arrest somebody no matter what. No matter what. So it was either me, her, and we had kids, and they were like, if we take her, then, they were just really rude about it. So I was like, of course you're taking me, let's go. So we go. My wife picks me up a few hours later, right? The next day we have a cop come to our house. She's like, he didn't do anything wrong. All we did was get into an argument, right? So they're like, do you want to press charges? She says no. They say, okay, they go on their way. 2 weeks later, I get a letter in the mail saying the county and the DA picked him up, and they're just going to charge me anyways. We went to court. My wife went on the stand and said all we had was an argument. Nothing, there was no physical altercation, nothing. And I was found guilty for raising my voice in a threatening manner. What? I can't even yell in my own home?
Okay, on that note, we'll be right back. We have a commercial break. We'll come back with more Kevin Korn, North Platte, Forrest Grin, and Roland A. Duby. And God damn it, if we can't yell in our own home, then we're not America, are we?
Fuck no. But while I was there, we are in commercial right now, right?
Yeah.
While I was in jail in Arizona, I met a guy who got into an argument with his wife, and she knocked him down over the coffee table and broke the coffee table. He was arrested for breaking the coffee table that he owned. And he was in jail for it when I was in jail. And I think he spent 2 months in jail for breaking his own coffee table.
Dude, in Arizona, I did forever. They gave me 2 years probation, right? And these disorderly conduct, like classes, which were all these grown-ass men talking about how they pride themselves on beating women. And I ended up walking out of the classes, this is just ridiculous. I can't be in here because I'm going to end up beating one of these guys up. I was like, so I had to leave and separate myself from that. That was the first time they locked me up. They locked me up for a couple weeks for that. Then they're like, okay, so you still got to do your probation. And every time they'd bust me for something, right, they'd start my 2 years over again. So it was like you would never get out. Finally, I was just like, lock me up, and they locked me up for 6 months. I ended up doing a total of all the time for all the little, offenses and probation violations. We figured it out. I did almost 13 months over the course of 2.5 years over a misdemeanor disorderly conduct charge for raising my voice in a threatening manner. And I have the paperwork on that.
Wow. Yeah, they charged me with possession of marijuana, and I have my medical marijuana recommendation, and I had the legal limit that you're allowed to have in Arizona. And they charged me under their cannabis law. They have a whole separate law called cannabis, and they have a marijuana law that's medical marijuana, but they charge people criminally under the cannabis law. They never even acknowledge the medical marijuana law.
Yeah.
It's horrifying.
They are nuts. I mean, especially, what county were you in?
Yavapai.
Ooh. Yeah, mine were all out of, I was out of, I'm trying to think of the name of the county. Well, I was out of Casa Grande in Arizona City, but it was that area, but it was basically Tucson. Pinal. I was in Pinal County. Locked up there long enough to think I would know the name.
I'm never going to Arizona again. Never, ever, ever.
I have 2 kids there.
I'll go to Wyoming.
I have an ex-wife and 2 kids there, and I won't go back.
Yeah, screw Arizona.
Yep.
I hear that all the time. Fuck Arizona.
Yeah.
I want to come back on the air and say that one time. We can all 4 get a fuck Arizona in there. For real.
They're still charging me, even though I said, look, I used marijuana for cancer, and I caught cancer while I was there in their jail. They are still charging me with it.
Yeah, that was another question I asked you last time. Do you think they had something to do with it? Because, when I was in jail in Pinal County, our food didn't come from the jail. It was all outsourced through this company.
I totally think they had something to do with it. When I was arrested, the cop marked me down as a diabetic, so they put me on a diabetic diet, and every tray that I got had my name on it.
That's the first thing I asked him when he said that he had leukemia when he got out. And I said, "Do you think that they gave it to you?" And then he tells me this, and I'm telling you, when you told me that, Roland, it fucking tripped my shit out that day.
Yeah, that was the first
It
question I
fucking
asked
tripped my shit out.
You got cancer while locked up in Arizona, and I said, does he think they gave it to him? That was my very first question, because I was locked up in there, and I watched people eat the food and get sick.
Are we back? And we're back.
I saw guys that did.
I think we're back. Are we? I think.
Hold on, guys.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I've seen that here in Clackamas County, though, in Oregon, too, so. The spider bites. Staph infections.
We're back with Hollywood Hempress Hour on the Time for Hemp Network on iHeartRadio. You know what? I'm talking to Kevin Korn and North Platte Forsgren and Roland A. Duby. We were discussing how cannabis cures cancer in this segment. And if you're just tuning in at the moment, Roland's had quite a bit of experience from the very start. We were talking about different types of oil. One question that North Platte had earlier was actually on the break about the 2 different kinds of oil that you can get. You mentioned something like a black. Don't get the black one, the black hash or something like that, not the gold one. Can you kind of like North Platte? Can you ask that question and then Roland make that answer, because we were on the break. Kevin said make sure that the audience hears that.
Yeah. I know that I had I've seen it before in in various forms of oil, different viscosities and whatnot. And I see a real black, it almost looks like the syringe is full of resin, but a little bit thinner than that. And then the varying stages all the way down to see-through clear oil. And I was just curious, which ones are the better. I mean, I'm sure there has to be varying degrees of potency and whatnot.
Well, the oil that I use is what I call full extract oil, where you take the entire plant, soak it in alcohol, and then you cook the alcohol away, and you're left with the black tar oil. That's the black stuff that you're talking about. And that's basically a Jamaican-style hash oil. And other people, they will do the same thing, only they use lots of carbon filtering and things like that to filter out the different carbons and the different things that make the oil dark. And when they do that, they lose a lot of the CBDs. And what they're trying to do is get it down to where they've got a pure THC product for smoking. And, that's all well and good if you're going to be smoking it. But if you want to cure cancer and you want to cure diseases, you need the black full extract oil, because it's got all of the CBDs, it's got all of the, there's over 420 chemicals in marijuana. And when you do a full extract by soaking the plant in alcohol and then just filtering that through a coffee filter and cooking away the alcohol, then you've got a full spectrum of cannabinoids for your body. And every organ in your body needs cannabinoids.
Right. Well, what's the difference between hash and oils, like including the bubble hash?
Bubble hash is basically got lots of plant material in it.
Right.
Bubble hash is good for you. If you eat bubble hash, that's basically fully extracted hash oil, only there's still some plant matter in there.
And what I want the black or the gold of that?
The black.
Okay, so if I have a bunch of that black hash right now, I should be eating it and not smoking it, because I usually just sprinkle it on my pot and smoke the hell out of it.
Yeah, that's how I cured my cancer when I first started working with Jack's hair and making hash, was eating the bubble hash.
Eating it? Well, I'm curious because I've never ate it. Like, what does it taste like? I mean, I have some right here. I can literally stick it in my mouth. I'm afraid to. But, I'm just curious because it's solid. It's like in a solid rock form,
Yeah, well, when it's like that, you can just roll it up and swallow it whole. But I like the soft stuff that you can spread around in your mouth, and you can get all the THC crystals all in your tongue and everything. It's really an awesome feeling, I think, to have liquid marijuana in your mouth. I really like it.
That's awesome. You know what?
Kind of like you ever chewed on a bud.
Yeah.
So you're gonna try it right now?
I have a piece probably. Okay, so I have probably about a half gram in my hand. It's a nice, maybe less than a dime size, but it's a nice chunk. It's a big rock. Okay, and it's black. It's black hash, and I'm gonna stick this in my mouth. Okay.
The whole thing?
Huh?
Chew it up.
The whole thing? The whole thing? The
Yeah,
whole?
why not? Right?
Oh fuck.
Chew it up. Really
Okay.
good.
Chew it up. That's what I got. Well, while I'm chewing it, it's almost. Okay, hold on. It's very sticky, kind of like a.
This is like Willy Wonka in the Chocolate Factory.
It's very sticky, like a Tootsie Roll times 10. It just wants to glue my teeth together. But the taste really was like way better than what I was expecting. This was like pop bubble gum. It's really kind of good, guys. I don't know why we've been smoking this shit. We should have been eating it.
I agree. I say that to people all the time. You should be eating your pot.
You know what? I don't know why people screw this up and put it in cookies that taste like shit. This tastes better than half the cookies I've eaten recently. I'm not joking.
I know. I believe you. I've been there.
Can you taste turkey and mashed potatoes?
No, I taste like it honestly tastes like a pot Tootsie Roll, except without like the chocolate flavoring. It's got that texture, almost like saltwater taffy.
Uh-huh.
As it's melting down and I'm chewing it, it's just my teeth are just sticking together. but the taste was really light. I was expecting it to be really strong, overpowering, almost pungent.
Uh-huh.
It wasn't. It was very light. It was almost like it's like eating a lightly like marijuana oiled salad. Is what it tasted like. It was very light, and it tasted good. In fact, that's gonna be my new hobby. I can tell you, Roland, that was a first for me, and it's not gonna be a last. Thank you. That was amazing.
Wow, Sasha says in the chat room that you need to drink get some water, lots of hot water, and get the resin off your teeth. LOL is what he says. So apparently Sasha has had experience with eating his bubble hash.
Yeah, it is very sticky, and it is between my teeth, so.
It'll wear off after a while. It'll rub off your teeth. It'll disappear.
I'm sure, and I'm pretty sure it probably doesn't eat through enamel like tobacco does, so.
No, I think it's probably good for your teeth. Probably good for the enamel. Who knows?
Who knows?
Or the gums, it sounds like it might be good for the gums.
Well,
I want to try this now. I'm jealous.
What's funny is my my wisdom teeth are actually coming in, and they've been giving me problems all week.
Uh-huh.
Because I don't have my wisdom teeth removed. It's they come in and they go out, they come in and they go out. But usually when they come in, maybe twice a year, my jaw is just messed up. Like it hurts to chew, it's hard to talk. I just chewed that bubble hash. I can't even feel my wisdom teeth.
Right on.
This is better than cocaine.
Yeah, it's really funny. I'm like, the listeners can't see this, but Kevin Korn on his Skype profile made his face look like Yoda, and so it's really funny to hear him talk right now and say what he's saying. It's like,
seriously, this is better than coke. I think my tongue, like he was talking about the THC crystals. I now know what he's talking about. My tongue and the roof of my mouth and my gums are numb. Like I was at the dentist getting Novocaine. Like I just wiped, like, here, let me test your cocaine. Are you done with that? Let me just wipe that up and rub it across my gums. Like for real. That's what it feels
now, I'll
like.
tell you a real interesting sensation when you have that in your mouth is to take a swig of like a carbonated soda like Pepsi.
Does it do the pop rocks thing?
It really feels, it's like eating, those Pop Rocks.
Right.
It's kind of like that. It's kind of like a real weird sensation all in your tongue and in your mouth when you've got the THC all saturated in your mouth like that.
Wow. Yeah, this is pretty cool. This was a first for me. That's amazing. And I can honestly say that I will do it again probably before I go to bed tonight.
wow. Well, I'd be interesting to see like how, what happens to you, like, in terms of like being high, as the night progresses and like what it.
Might be interesting.
And
I love getting high from eating weed. I love it. I love the high. I love shit. I love the fact that you can almost get too high. Smoking it, you can't. I've never gotten so nearly as big as eating fucking edibles.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Funny story. Summer ate edibles the first time we did a show at a dispensary called Potlandia, and Summer doesn't smoke. Okay, she doesn't smoke pot. She doesn't really do any pot. She decided since she was there, she would eat. They brought us a tray of edibles, right? She didn't realize that tray was full of edibles that was like for the whole table, so she decided she was just going to chow down on some brownies and some candies and some cookies. By the time we left, she was almost so high, she was almost drunk because she was so like in and out of like half asleep, half awake. I took her home and she slept for 46 hours. Would not wake up for nothing. A true story. And
that's like the guy I told to stick the hash oil capsule up his ass and he ate it. He slept for 2 days straight.
Yup. Almost 2 days straight she woke. She was just short of a couple hours when she woke up. It was like, She thought it was the next day. And it was like, no, you slept through that day.
Great. And I bet she felt great.
Yeah, I don't know. How did you feel, Summer? How'd you feel? She did. She said she felt great.
Wow. Was there a point where you were like, obviously you were worried, but you knew she was going to be all right, though.
Me, I wasn't really worried. I was just like, whoa, what happened to all the candies? And she was like, oh, I've been eating them. I'm like, I was like, uh-oh. Like, I knew right then and there. I was like, uh-oh. This was for, like, every...
That reminds me of an interesting story. You know the guy I was telling you about with the Parkinson's? Well, his wife, she had a lump in her breast. And I told her to put oil on the lump, and she started doing that. After a couple of days, it busted open, and all kinds of liquid started pouring out, and then a lump fell out, and then it healed up. And after it healed up, you couldn't even tell that there was ever any kind of a hole or anything there. Well, that made her like the oil, so she takes a syringe of oil one day and eats about 3 grams of it. And she didn't tell her husband. So he comes home and he finds her laying on the bed and she's drooling and she can't talk and she can barely move. So he called the ambulance. They took her to the hospital and they said that she had more THC in her blood than they've ever seen in anyone in their life. But she didn't die. You get really high, but you don't die.
Yeah.
Well, I've heard that about a few different drugs, like, obviously not certain drugs, but I actually was reading a report about methamphetamines, and they're like, people don't actually die from methamphetamines. If they die while they're using methamphetamines, it's what they mix the methamphetamines with. Like, if you use it with alcohol, the dehydrations methamphetamine causes, the alcohol will kill you. A lot of people speedball it, mix it with heroin, it's the heroin. Or a lot of people who die from methamphetamines, they shoot it up and it's caused by an air bubble in the syringe and in the vein. It's not actually the drug itself when they say you can't actually overdose on it. Now, they say you can't overdose as in the terms as die, but you can overdose and have brain aneurysms and seizures and be like half retarded, but you won't die, which is weird. And this is what
I'm hearing about that stuff they call spice.
Right.
Well, I think what that all comes down to is, the whole war on drugs, we've been so bombarded with different kinds of propaganda and bullshit our entire lives, Kevin. And that's just a smidgen of what, of what they've fucking just beaten us over the fucking head with, Everything's gonna kill you. That's pretty much what I was taught, or at least that's what the kids are getting taught nowadays. And
I don't think it's everything that's going to kill you. I think from the second we're born, we are, we're here for a set time limit. These shells are like time limits. They're like timers. And so your timer's set from the second you get here. So everything you do, if you're going to count on everything you do as the reason your timer's counting down, then I think you're kind of nuts in the first place, because your timer's counting down whether you do anything or not. So that time's going to, you might be able to speed it up.
I was talking about I agree with you perfectly, yes.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting. To go into like the time factor, or our existence and all that kind of stuff. And if you're thinking about, what we're talking about here though is maybe like some people's timers got timed down a little quicker than they should have.
Right.
If this, just think about if this plant was legal and we were actually curing ourselves, like we were taking it so we didn't even get cancer, if we ate the seed and we, took it as a medicine or hash oil, or we allowed ourselves to be high a little bit or whatever. If we had a little euphoria, what if it's all normal, like masturbation? You know what I mean? It's like, and I don't mean, and I'm just kind of using this.
Normal?
Yes. If you think about it, but it was always this thing that you're not, for me, emotion, like in terms of like religion and media and all this kind of stuff, I kind of feel that there's a correlation between that oppression of sexuality, as well as being allowed to feel good from a plant. You feel euphoric a little bit, you feel centered, you feel grounded, you can reboot the computer if you want to call it that way. And yet we're supposed to feel like we're supposed to be demonized for that. Why can't I take my medicine and feel better instantly once I start to take it? What's wrong with that? Why is that illegal compared to like the other horrible drugs that were given to treat cancer? And they just get people just weaker and weaker and weaker because they're basically killing a part of their body themselves to cure the disease that.
I still don't understand radiation.
Uh,
I don't get the point of, hey, I got this disease in my body. Let's go nuke it out of me.
Okay, we got to come right back after commercial break. We'll be right back.
That's cool. We were talking about time on time for him.
Yeah, they're hemp and time. That was kind of neat.
Yeah. On the and Hollywood Hempress Hour, it's all got a time theme. Weird.
I like the Hollywood answer 2 hour.
Right.
Have you ever seen a movie where people like barter for time for their life, and that's how you get paid is by time?
Yeah.
Yes.
Time with Justin Timberlake.
Yeah, that was a great movie.
Great concept.
Yeah.
Play the second part of the.
Oh yeah. The second half of Roland's stand up. Yeah, we'll go into that like after this. But I'll announce it.
Cool.
Okay. Cool.
Wow, you know what?
What?
Yeah, maybe I should save this, but check this out. I have severe acid reflux. Alex knows this. Terry, you've spent enough time with me. I'm sure you've seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah, eating oil will get rid of
I
that.
can't eat or drink anything without spitting it like almost right back up, like for real. Let alone take a hit without coughing and vomiting instantly. I ate that like 10, 12 minutes ago. I was having like massive heartburn all night and like stomach and acid reflux issues. Gone. Everything in my chest, the burn, the acid going up into my esophagus, gone. Right now it is gone.
Nice.
We've got to share that after the break.
I know I'm going to start. That, I may have been a skeptic 30 minutes ago, but I may have just been turned into a believer. Real. I mean, I always
Did I ever tell you about my car on water, Terry?
What?
Did I ever tell you about running my car on water?
No.
Really? I built a machine in 2007 to make hydrogen out of water, hydrogen and oxygen gas.
Yeah.
And I hooked it up. I hooked it up to my Ford Escort. It was a 4-cylinder car, and I drove it to California and drove it all over California when I went out north with Jack. And I drove it on water. It would take the hydrogen and oxygen gas and burn it, and then it turned back into water and dripped out the exhaust pipe.
Wow.
Yeah, I got videos online of my machine hooked up in the front seat of my car, and now there's a website called Hydrogen Garage I worked on with a guy that sold me the parts to build my machine. And now you can buy all the stuff that you need to run your car off the water, right off the internet.
Really? How to run that?
Well, the most expensive part is the stainless steel, and it usually will run around $300, $400 for the stainless steel, and all the other parts maybe about $40 or $50.
Shit.
Yeah,
That's unbelievable. I mean, I just, I went to Hempfest, in my friend's car, driven by vegetable oil. You know Arlo Stone, Kevin.
Yes.
And we went all the way to Seattle, on vegetable oil, and I've got to upload that footage to YouTube. And
I have that on film, and I haven't seen it yet.
I was gonna say we heard that story.
Yeah, I've got to do that. Are we back? Hold on. Okay, we're coming back here soon. Okay.
Well, when Gatewood was running for governor, he ran a diesel, Mercedes diesel off of hemp seed oil and traveled around the state of Kentucky running.
Okay. Wait. Okay, we're coming back here soon. Okay, all right. And we're back. back with Hollywood Hempress Hour on the Time for Hemp Network. I'm Terry Joyce, your host. With me is Kevin Korn, North Platte Forsgren, and Roland A. Duby. And Roland, we were talking about, cannabis curing cancer and hemp oils and all kinds of different oils. And Kevin just ate a large piece of bubble hash, and he was talking in the chat room that he has no more acid reflux. Do you want to tell us what's going on with that, Kevin?
Yes, I am a chronic sufferer of acid reflux. I mean, I get prescribed tons of medications and pills for it that I refuse to take because none of them work. All they do is, go, hey, you got acid shooting up in your throat. You can either spit it up and puke it out, or we can make it leak out your ass. No, you don't like that one? Take another drug where we give it to you and it comes out your nose. It was never any fun. So I quit taking the drugs and I just learned to, deal with, this is my life. I learned to deal with the heartburn, like the chest always on fire, I can't even smoke pot like a normal person because every time I take a hit, I gag and puke, and if you can't handle that, you can't hang out in my circle. So it's really been a huge problem, and it's constant, and I've been having really bad attacks all day today. I've had really bad heartburn, really bad, like acid up in the esophagus and chest area, so it just burns constantly. And since we started the show tonight, I was in that, that position. My chest has been on fire. I just handle it. I ate that bubble hash, and within maybe it's been 10, 15 minutes, it's gone. I don't feel the stomach acid. I don't feel the burn in my chest. It feels like both of my esophaguses, the flaps are closed. I can swallow. I feel really good. I feel good. I can tell personally on the inside of myself, this feels better than anything I've ever done before for my acid reflux. This is amazing.
Wow, that's wonderful. I mean, I'm just, it just gives me chills to have you even say that right now. That you're confessing, your what's happening to you in the moment.
Yeah, I went from maybe being a skeptic earlier to I gotta try this for myself, and now I'm a believer. I'm probably gonna do and if this works all through the night, if I sleep through the night tonight, you know what I'm saying, without heartburn, waking up with heartburn and spitting shit up like I do every single night, and if I sleep through the night tonight, oh yeah, you can believe I'm gonna eat a chunk of this every single day.
Wow. Well, we'll have to follow up with you on that. Well, here's something that I want to do in this moment is actually Roland A. Duby. This is the second half of his comedy routine from the first half. And I just want to play it for a moment. So I hope you guys all will enjoy it too.
I hope it's funny.
I heard a weird interference on the internet where it sounded like I heard two other voices having a conversation that beeped through.
I kind of heard that too.
I heard a second.
Yeah, okay, so it's not just me.
Nope.
Okay, wonder why that's happening. Do you think somebody's listening in?
The NSA accidentally turned the virtual button.
Well, I don't know. There's been a plumber's ban outside for 2 days.
Are you serious?
No, I'm kidding.
Oh, I think it's something internal. I'm trying. No, he's still talking about us wanting to listen to the comedy. I thought he's like, no, that's not voices. I'm responsible for the voices. But yeah, I heard it for a second. I was just kind of like, I don't know. I felt kind of uneasy there for a minute. Well, we got a tiny bit.
So what's in the news? I guess. These are the Israelites. The camel.
So I don't have the right kind of player to listen to these archived shows. I've been trying to listen to them. They don't seem to work for me.
Oh, darn it. You know what? I'll make sure.
It doesn't try to get it to play either. You have to update your Java. It's crazy.
Okay. Yeah, I hate Java updates.
It's a Java update. It's really weird. I had the same.
I don't normally drink coffee.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, well, you know what? I'm also recording these on my Ustream, and I'll find your first one, and then I'll archive this one. Like they're all in my. I upload them to YouTube. I'm a little bit backlogged on watching some of my, especially my Hollywood Hempress Hour footage, because I've been focusing on trips, making sure that our stuff gets up into the thing. But I'll get these to you, as well as like then we also have it on the archive. But
can you get us the link to the archive, because I need the link to the page that has the archives.
Oh, we're working on attaching those together, and we're live.
oh, we're live. Welcome back to Hollywood Hempress Hour on the Time for Hemp Network on iHeartRadio. I think maybe it might just be interesting if a listener just hears part of our backstage conversation, because you know what? A lot of cool stuff happens when we're not on the air. And if you ever want to catch some of the behind the scenes on that, I also Ustream this off of my Hollywood Hempress Hour Ustream, so that you don't miss all of the excitement that happens, backstage. And you know what? I do it because I feel that I feel like I'm documenting history, because we are talking about marijuana in a different way. We're talking about it being a cure for cancer, which a lot of people, I don't even think know that yet. And so hopefully that message gets out. It's funny, I've actually told people, or like wanted to help people, friends that have cancer, by saying, hey, why don't you try this? And I've been shot down. And kind of almost laughed at. Have you experienced that, Roland?
Oh my God, so much. And I've watched people die because they don't believe, and it's a drag. I hate to see it. I've seen it so much, and more than anybody should have to deal with. I've seen so much death since I started doing this. The miracles of people living are incredible, but to watch people die just because they don't believe, or because they've got the stigmatism of marijuana is bad and I'm not going to touch that, it's crazy.
But they'll just radiate themselves,
Yeah, I have a friend I went to school with, and his dad had Alzheimer's, and he was telling me, how bad off his dad was and everything. So I gave him 2 grams of oil. He comes back to me 3 months later. He said, I gave my dad the oil for 2.5 weeks. He got to where he was perfect. He was fine. He was talking. He knew everybody. He was remembering things. He knew when he saw you. He knew who you were. And he said that one day I went to give my dad the medicine, and he asked me what it was, and he told him that it was, he got it from Ronnie Smith, and it's marijuana oil. His dad said, don't you ever give that stuff to me again. And in a month and a half later, he was dead.
See, that's just, it's tragic. And, that's what the, obviously that's what the propaganda has done. That's what, we've what's happened. What do you think about the switch that's happening in the media? Dr. Sanjay Gupta coming out and confessing that that he was wrong, and that marijuana has medicinal value and this and that. Do you think that sometimes, here's my theory on it. It worries me that they're doing this so that they can take cannabis and make it a class 3 drug. It still won't give us, we won't be able to have it, that's why I feel that we need to like legalize it recreationally, and then it's going to go into the hands of the pharmaceutical companies who are going to make it so that it doesn't cure cancer because they're going to split it and not have it be that whatever that concentrated property is that really heals
Sanjay
you.
Gupta reminds me of an NFL fan. When the team's winning, he jumps to whatever side it needs to be on. You know, like Sanjay Gupta, I bet was a Saints fans, and I bet he roots for the Seahawks now. You know, like that's you know, I kind of feel like bandwagon jumpers. I feel like the same people who told us that this was bad now all of a sudden want to act like they're our best friends and go, you know what, I was wrong, but guess what? It's really good for you. No, you knew it was good for us when you told us it was bad.
Right. So what's the deal with that? What's the deal with that?
I haven't seen Sanjay Gupta doing too much work anymore.
What?
You know, they kind of blackballed him. I haven't seen him on CNN. Sanjay Gupta, didn't he have his own show?
Oh man, I've seen him on MSNBC. I mean, he's doing these talk shows. He was on what? Oprah, Dr. Phil. He was on Dr. Phil doing this. He was on The Doctors. He's been on like morning, daytime TV.
So saying that pot's good for you now.
Yeah.
Well, you know what, you guys, we're actually starting to get down to the last couple minutes of the show, and you know what, I just feel like I want to talk to you some more, so much, Roland, because there's more to. It's almost like this is like a 3-parter. I mean, you know, would you want to? I mean, what do you want to come back tomorrow night? Are you available?
Of course, I'd be happy to do it anytime.
Okay, all right. So, like, let's continue this, and then we can follow up with Kevin about like how the whole night went on, and then just sort of like just kind of keep this going, because I just feel like there's so much to talk about with you know your journey with marijuana curing cancer, you know, the obstacles that you know you face personally, and really kind of like all of us in some way. I think we can identify with each other in terms of. You know, I mean, you admit you feel like you're targeted, and Rick Simpson was targeted. I mean, I want to go into more depth about that, and why is that happening to people? Because, you know, when you told me your story, and then, you know, I heard, you know, and then you went to jail, and all of a sudden this happened, I'm like, oh my God, he's in there, he's being targeted, they got him. You know, and I firmly believe that it's intentional, and now when you start to talk to us and tell us, like, you know, what knowledge you do know, and where it does come from, you know, it starts to get, you start to like wonder. So anyway, thank you so much for tuning in to Hollywood Hemptress Hour on the Time for Hemp Network, because it is time for hemp. And we're on iHeart Radio because you have to have a heart to understand that. No, I'm kidding. So we'll be back tomorrow night. Thanks for listening.
Thank you. So we're off the air?
Yeah, I think we're off the air now.
Right on. I had a blast. I look forward to seeing you or talking to you tomorrow.
Thanks, you guys. I mean, like that was a great show. And so I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks, Roland. Bye.
Yeah. Bye, guys.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, Roland.
Bye.